This is training to get the ultimate marriage. You're on the dating scene. You can't get a date. You're on the dating scene. You want to get a date. You are dating and they're bad dates. Or you're worried that it might not be the right date and you're starting to fall for someone. Or you're married and you don't even date your spouse anymore. So here's the big idea tonight. The majority of singles in relationships are stuck. And if you don't want a relationship like the majority of relationships, don't date like the majority of daters. If you don't want to be like the majority of singles, don't date or not date like the majority of singles. Don't act like those who you don't want to be like, in other words. So look, most married couples I know, they're not dating, much less having sex. They don't even kiss. Okay, they don't hold hands. They don't hug. They're not affectionate. And these are people you'd think would be happily married if you saw them. You could spot them in the front row at church. They're sitting by each other. They're going to council meetings. They're serving on boards in the community. Singles, you look at them and you're like, you got yourself together and you want to be married, so what's going on? I'm going to leave a couple rules off. I'm going to give you several rules of great dating that work in today's world. This is a couple rules that I've observed and I've gathered from interviewing people, as well as looking at the research and listening to other experts. I'm going to leave a couple rules off. One would be confidence. If you have confidence, I don't mean cockiness, but if you have confidence, when you walk into a room, people can feel that. I'm not going to go into that. But confidence is absolutely key. And having confidence on a date, I don't know how that would be a rule, but it's definitely a key. You'd want to have that as a rule to an effective relationship, an effective date, if it's going to be effective. You can go on a date without confidence, you probably won't get another one. Also, by the way, feel free to ask questions. I'll keep looking down here as we go along. And there's ways to get confidences back, but I won't go into that. And another one that's winning in modern world is kindness. Just being kind. I've been asking myself, am I good for Pandy's mental health? The way I talk to her, am I good for her mentality, her mindset? Do I beat her down verbally? Does your husband beat you down? Does your wife beat you down? When you go on a date, if you're a single, are they good for your mental health? So kindness wins the day in the modern world. You can't get around it these days because people want kindness, even if they're not articulating it. I won't talk about those two, but those are definitely two that you want on the list. Here's a couple quotes to get us started. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. A guy named Mr. Sledge said this, and I quote, "Online dating is the worst." Okay? Remember, if you're married, tonight's for you too, but I'm specifically talking to single on this quote. "Each time I ask friends ranging from 20s to 50s how the temperature in the dating pool is, I'm met with borderline hostility. For all the talk of ease that a dating app allows for a potential date, the impression I'm left with is everyone is swimming in a pool that they took a dump in. Instead of shocking the water and getting out of the water, everyone decided that they just need to keep swimming in the sewage, perhaps even adding to it because that's the pool that the people, the daters, swim in," end quote. Does that sound familiar? In other words, he's saying, what option do we have? Yeah, it's a mess out there in the dating world. Yeah, it's horrible, but hey, if you're going to date, this is your only approach. Someone else named Silver said, "I saw a meme once that read, it used to be, how long do you date until you have sex? Now it's how long do we have sex before we date?" Third quote by a guy named Avery. We don't communicate our feelings to one another, but instead play this guessing game with no intention of being with that person. Because it means you care and you're weak. Because whoever cares least wins. Right? This is how we're bringing up our kids. They're modeling this. So listen, I'm going to give you some rules. Gail saying that's been my experience. Tammy saying my pool is a mud puddle. That's probably a clean one. I'm going to lay the groundwork a little bit first. Ladies, you need to know something about the guys. And it's kind of shameful about the male nature, that relationally speaking at least. You need to know this. Here it is. Ready? If a guy doesn't have to, he probably won't. You need to keep that in mind when you're dating. And if you're married to a guy, you've already noticed that. If he doesn't have to, he probably won't. So if he doesn't have to ask you out, he probably won't, because it's too frightening. And ladies, if you step in, he's probably going to step back. I'm not making excuses. It's bad behavior. It's crappy behavior. It's not helpful behavior. It's no excuse. But it's probably part of the male nature. I can't prove it, but I've seen it enough through experiential and circumstantial evidence. So that's the secret, ladies, you need to know about men. Even though they know that about themselves and they try to get over it, they'll say all kinds of weird things and be macho, but they still step back. And if guys, you're listening to this now or later, congratulations if that's not you. You're in the 0.5% of the male population and you're a great role model. But the secret is, ladies, guys will tend to get passive when they don't feel the need. Now, look, if you watch them at work, it's a mystery because they're not as passive. If you watch them on the ball diamond, they're very aggressive and they're decisive and they make decisions. And, hey, I'm going to steal second base, or I'm going to swing for the fences, or I'm going to do this project. They know what they want and they go after what they want. But if they're at home and you say you want apple pie or cherry pie, they're like, I don't know. Doesn't matter. So you need to know that as we go through some of the rules. Rule number 1, it doesn't apply to as much, but rule number 1 is this. If I were going on a date, and I do go on dates with my wife, bring the joy. You want to be the person who brings the joy. Why is that a rule in the modern world? Because people are tired, people are wore out, and if you look at the online world, it's depressing. Everybody's arguing. The political climate's a mess. Everybody's stressed out, worried. Anxiety's through the roof. And so if you're the person that brings the joy, if you're the person that's fun, you're going to be in the 1-2%. And people just want to enjoy life and have fun. And you're a climate. And what I mean by that is like the weather is sunny or rainy, or it's freezing right now. I don't know if it's warm where you're at. I'll be in Florida soon. Thank goodness. But you're a climate. And when you walk into a room, people feel something around you. Remember that quote? I don't know who said it, but someone once said, people don't remember what you said to them, what you did for them even, but they always remember how you make them feel. So you're a climate. So type below what you think 1 or 2 words are. When you walk into a room, how do people feel? Do they feel fun? Do they feel joy? Do they feel happy? Do they feel nervous? Do they feel apprehensive? Do they feel scared? What do people feel around you? Kathy says it's hot here in Florida. Yeah, hot for a Floridian. Probably feel great for someone like me. Yeah, so what do you feel? Look, joy is, did you know this? Joy is your natural state. I'm a Christian, and it's even why our leader, Jesus, said, I came to give you joy and give it abundantly, give you life and have abundance now. Everybody's so worried about when they die. He advocated for it now. And even psychologists, whether you're a religious person or not, say all emotions eventually lead back to joy. Have you ever cried so hard and you're with somebody and you're just crying, and eventually you end up laughing? It always leads back to joy. Anger leads back to joy. So my challenge to you to have a rule: relaxed, friendliness, okay, at ease, that's great. Caring, some emotions are coming in now. Instead of waiting for all these emotions to lead back to joy, generate joy. Like a power plant generates energy, generate joy, bring fun. If you don't want to think about joy, think about fun. How can I be the fun person? How can I have more fun than my date or my spouse? How can I have fun around my colleagues who I have a crush on, whoever it is, right? And, enjoy the journey. If you're asking someone out, consider it joy. I don't know how you can do it. You get scared if you're going to ask someone out. Do you get scared around your crush? Probably. Your amygdala's sending signals to your brain saying, "Don't do it. You're gonna die." But how about we try to make it fun, right? I mean, don't take yourself so seriously. You're not getting out of life alive, right? So have as much fun and joy as you can. There's nothing wrong with that. And as you know, comfortable, usually fun, okay. Have a good attitude. Never act bored on a date. Because bored people are boring, and nobody wants to be around boring. And if I sat in the back seat of your date, let's say you're married, my guess is we would all be bored to death, but we're acting so bored. Well, they're boring. Okay, you bring the fun, and things will start to change. Bring your wife joy. Bring your husband joy. Have fun again. Man, I'm dancing all the time in my house. She may think that's boring, but I think it's fun. She was laughing tonight when I was dancing. Right? So what would be a fun date? What would be a joyful way to ask her out? Right? So there's a lot of complaining and venting and whining online. So my guess there's a lot of complaining, whining, and venting on dates. Even if they care, it's no fun. Right? They're not your therapist. So, I don't know. All I know is the data shows this. Fun is one of the very first signs of attraction. So, listen, if you want to be attractive, be a fun person. And Aaron, I'm not fun. Well, you can be fun. So, if you say you're not fun, say I'm not fun yet. Because you can be. And studies show that when you're taking somebody on a date, whether you're married or you're single, the primary factor of whether it's going to be a successful date is whether you had fun or not. So I don't know what fun is for you. Type down below what's fun. Snorkeling, a theme park, roller coasters, camping, a walk under the stars, traveling, taking a spontaneous trip, taking a planned trip. But you want to have a blast. You want to have fun. Look, if you just said, I'm gonna be the... I know funnest is not the word. I'm going to be the funnest or the most fun person in my community in the next 8 months. Great things will happen for your life. So there's all kinds of ways that guys like to have fun, girls like to have fun. I won't go into, but I don't know what you would consider fun, but you want to identify what those things are. And if you're going on a date or a potential date, hey, what do you consider for fun? What do you like to do? What's enjoyable? People like talking about that stuff. Maybe start doing this. Live with the attitude. Something wonderful is about to happen to my life. Something wonderful is going to happen on this date. Something wonderful is going to happen when I get around my crush. Because brain expectancy theory, when you start expecting good things tend to happen. So it's your attitude, not your aptitude. That, somebody once said your attitude, not your aptitude, determines your altitude. What that means in relation to relationships is if I got a good attitude and I'm positive and I'm having fun, I can, if I'm negative and I'm, not having a good time, okay, I walk on the beach volunteering, I can have fun anywhere, Disney, yeah. So look, if I'm negative, even if I have all the dating strategies in the world, if my attitude is poor, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. So your attitude, not your aptitude. Aptitude is your competence, strategies, knowing how to do things. I can give you all these strategies. If you just have a great attitude, if you wake up every day and say, you know what, I choose to have a great attitude today. I'm going to have a great attitude. I don't care if my wife has a great attitude or not. I'm going to have a great attitude. I don't care if my crush has a great attitude. I'm going to have a great attitude. If I get to go on a date this weekend, I'm going to have a great attitude. I can't see my crush this weekend. He knows I like him. I'm still going to have a great attitude because your crush is going to sense that. People want to be around people who have great attitudes. Yes or no? Absolutely. And that will determine your altitude or your success in your dating. So the challenge is to create a a relationship story that is so much fun. Because when you get to the end of your life, my guess is you're going to look back and say, did I have a lot of fun? Did I experience a lot of joy? Did I laugh a lot? And that's the kind of legacy you want to pass on to your kids or your grandkids someday. Rule number 2. Guys, I'm talking to guys, but if you're a lady, listen to this. Guys, ask females or girls on dates. Ask them on specific dates. Use the word date. Like, here's an example. Yes, I would like to take you on a date too. Or, hey, Kathy or Tammy or whoever they're talking to, I would like to take you on a date too. Stop saying, hey, man, you want to go hang out for a little while? Or, hey, would you like to chill out? Or you just want to kind of do something sometime? I mean, stop doing that. That's not helpful. Like, I think ladies are probably tired of that. Ladies, respond below. Are you tired of guys just saying, hey, you want to just kind of hang out? I think that ladies want guys to make a decision, to have some clarity, because that's respectful to them. So guys, ask her to do something specific at a specific time on a specific day, and maybe even in a specific ways. And guys may think, oh my gosh, I got to plan something, or that makes me vulnerable, and she might say no. Yeah? Is she worth it? Is she worth it? So let me give you a couple examples. I mean, you could say something like, hey, I have tickets. Go approach her and say, I have tickets to the Taylor Swift concert next week, next Friday. If you're available, I would enjoy taking you. I got tickets to the ball. I got tickets to the concert. I got tickets to the game. That shows that you planned ahead. That shows that you cared. That shows that you're taking a risk and you have some courage. And at the end of the day, it's really just not being... Don't be a wuss, right? I mean, just don't be scared. You probably got all your friends praying, oh man, I'm going to go talk to her. Or just please, God, would you please have her just, come my way and so that we can get a date. I lost you all here. But what you really need to do is just ask her out on a specific date. There we go. You're back. I lost you online. And listen, that gives her the option. Okay, and they can pick the restaurant for once instead of asking me where I want to eat. Yes. So you may not want to eat at that restaurant, but if they say, hey, I got reservations at the Olive Garden for next Thursday night, I would enjoy taking you. Would you like to come? You may not want to go to, you may be allergic to spaghetti or Italian or whatever, and you can say, no, but I would like to go to Dos Reales. I would like to go to, whatever restaurant floats your boat. But at least, guys, you're giving them an option. And yeah, they may freak out for a moment because they haven't had any time to process it. And you've been all worried and worked up for about a week thinking about how you're going to ask her. And now she gets to go home and call her friends and get all worried and worked up. But she'll eventually say, I think that sounds good. And this applies to married couples too. Guys, we tend to fall into this tendency of, hey, what do you want to do on Friday night? Hey, what's on the schedule? Kids are to sleep over. What do you want to do? Be specific. Say, honey, I got tickets to the movie. I already got them. I would enjoy taking you. No worries if you don't want to go. I'll just throw them out because I only want to go with you. I mean, I don't know how you want to do it, but specific time, specific place, in a specific way. Rule number 3 is related. Hi, Kimberly. Rule number 3. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Agree only to dates in the modern world. Guys are getting sloppy in the modern world, so only agree to dates. I don't mean just go on any date with any guy. What I mean is dates. Don't agree to the vague stuff that they're too chicken to ask you out on a date when they say, hey, want to do something sometime? Because if you agree to that, the bar is set very low and you're worth more than a low bar. And you always will get what you think you're worth. And if you agree to something like that, they will never get around to asking you on a date. And so if he's vague, and said, tell him to pull himself together, right? Say you're interested, but you're not agreeing to anything. You don't agree to anything unless it's a date, unless he gets it right. And let me tell you something, ladies. I mean, that sounds kind of bold, or you may, oh my gosh, I'm scaring him off. I don't even get asked on a date. What are you asking me to do, Aaron? He will respect you for this because you appear to be a woman who has yourself together. You could say, hey, well, do you have something specific in mind? He probably won't. If he approaches you with vagueness, he's still not going to have something. He's like, whoa, what do you want to do? And if you just say, well, whatever you want to do, and you just say yes just to kind of chilling, then he will never ask you on dates after that. It's just, oh, you want to hang out again? It won't be specific, and it's going to lead to heartbreak because there's no intentionality to move from date to engagement to marriage. It's just hanging out, casual sex. Even if that's not what you want, that's what it eventually lead to, and you may have to break it off or whatever. So don't even help him. I'm going that far. Don't even help him. Say, well, if he's vague with you and he doesn't know what to do, well, you want to go get a movie sometime, watch a movie, the Red Box or whatever, because he's going to say yes, and then it's you who just asked him out. And he needs to grow up, man up, and ask you on a date. And guys, if she says that to you, she's not being mean. She's actually complimenting you. She's saying, hey, do you have the courage to ask me out? I'm giving you a hint that I might be interested because I just said you have something in mind. If she's not interested, she's going to say, no, thank you. Or, well, that's nice, and then walk away and friend zone you, right? Ladies, this may mean you miss out on going on a date with this guy, but you may lose the guy, but it's far better than losing yourself. Because you know how many married women have lost themselves? And it can be traced back to things like these. All right, so guys, let's rise to the occasion. Make it fun. Ask her on a date, man. Ask her on a date. Make it fun. So it doesn't put pressure on the women. Guys think it puts way more pressure on them when I say that. I'm just saying, ladies, respect yourself. And never get used to anyone disrespecting you, including a guy. And don't let him set the bar so low. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Yes or no? Rule number 4. Rule number 4 is raise your energy. And it's all energy. And this is what we normally see in marriages. I'm tired. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? And we just don't bring any energy to the dating process in marriage or single. Single, I've worked all week. I'm so tired. I'm not even going to try. Or then energy's negative if it's not tired. It's like, oh, I've tried to go on a date. It's not working out. Maybe it's not meant to be. Or we blame God. And the energy is low. And you can't expect to go on dates if your energy is low or you don't have a belief. Right, so 99% of all life, technically, scientifically speaking, is energy. Everything's vibrating at a really fast pace, including this pen, my hat, my beard, my arm. Everything's just really vibrating fast. The key is I can change my energy at any time and I can start talking really fast and I can be really happy. I could be really kind of down and sad, nothing works out, and I just can't get a date, or she doesn't like me, or woe is me, and it's disempowering energy, or you know what? She said no, I'm going to go for it again. I'm going to win this girl's heart, or I'm going to go ask somebody else. And the reason why this is so important to raise your energy is because like attracts like. And so like means your energy, whatever it is, that's what you're going to attract. So if you're negative, you're going to attract negativity. If you're positive, you will attract more positivity into your life. If you're a smiling person, you'll attract more smiles. You walk up to somebody and just start smiling, they'll eventually smile. It's like attracts like. I don't mean looks attract the same looks, though that's also probably true. I mean the energy that you send out that's manifested in your face, in your arms, in your voice, in your tonality. Hey, would you like to go? I got these tickets. I would really enjoy taking you. Would you like to go? It's a kind, positive, trusting voice as opposed to some creepy, hey, I think you're kind of hot, That's an energy level, and people sense the energy. If they can't articulate it, they sense it. And so people feel connected or disconnected from people only because of energy. That's it. Energy, when people feel a chemistry, it's because their energy is vibrating at a similar frequency. They're both positive people, or they're both negative people, or they're both kind of in depression, or whatever. They're attracting each other because the energy is sending out similar frequencies. Like you turn on a car radio to 97.5, it's going to get a certain frequency. If I turn it to 91.7 or 94.5, it'll give a different frequency. And it's the same with our thoughts, our thought life, our emotions. So negative and positive people will never attract each other. But a positive person will attract an attitude of positivity. So decide what kind of person that you want to attract, even if you're married, and then act that way. Like my wife's downstairs, I can hear him just getting home. And if I want her to treat me great, I've learned I don't sit around and wait for her to treat me great. Instead, I go treat her great. I'm smiling, I'm fun around her. And guess what? That's going to attract a similar energy. And if she's not feeling that way, it will start to raise her vibration, her energy. So that's what you do around people. Be very intentional with your energy. If this is hard for you to understand when I'm saying this rule, take a month to work on your energy levels and then get back with your date or your spouse. Okay, yeah. So I'm seeing some comments down there. If you got specific questions, ask me something specific and I can answer it. Be with somebody that you want to be around, and that's simply their emotions, their energy. So get your energy right. Here's one simple way. I mean, you drink lots of water, go to bed, get your sleep, all that stuff is going to change your energy levels. Another way is to pick like 2 words. I have 3 words that every day, and I just kind of say these words. I close my eyes. I say these words to me before I enter a room. And one of them is positive. Positive, I'm positive. I am positive, I'm positive. Another one might be engage. So I engage, I engage, I engage. So when I go into a room, I don't just stand on my own because my brain now knows I'm a person who engages people to have conversation. Or I might one word, I might be peace, I'm peace, I am peace, if I want to feel at peace. So whatever energy I want to experience, I pick the word that matches that energy, and I say those words for a good 15 to 20 seconds before I enter a room. Okay, so rule number 5 is this. I'm going to state it in a positive way and then also negatively. Positive is this. Cherish the person you're with. Or cherish the person you're going to ask out on a date. Or cherish the person who's asking you on a date. The word is cherish, which means defer, which means you first. You go first. The negative way to say this is don't ever mistreat or disrespect anyone. Even if they don't mind being disrespected or mistreated, because they've had previous relationships where they've been mistreated and now they've accepted that in their life and you've noticed that and you just mistreat them. Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to mistreat somebody, but it starts to come out of our unhealed hearts, and we really do a disservice to humanity, to another human being. We should never mistreat or dishonor or disrespect somebody. We should always be finding ways to cherish them and say, can I get the door for you? May I open the door for you? You go first. Can I get this for you? May I get you a drink? When they walk into a room, to stand up and to honor them, to defer, to give them the best seat, to say, what would you like to watch on TV? There's zero margin to mistreat anybody on the planet, especially a person you're dating, especially your spouse. Never, ever mistreat them. Be good for who they are, their mental health, their emotional well-being. Hey, honey, you go first. What would you like to do? And this also means don't lie. Don't ghost people if you're dating. Don't say you're going to show up on a date and not show up on a date. Have the courage to tell them, you know what, I changed my mind. It's not brain science here. So don't lie to people, right? You don't want to be a liar. You don't want other people to lie to you. Right? The foundation of every relationship is trust. And then 2, don't mislead people. Only gutless people mislead people because they don't have the courage to speak the truth. And a lot of people are betraying other people in the modern dating world because they don't have the guts to have a heart-to-heart conversation. They're saying, you know what, you can't handle the truth, so I'm going to go betray this relationship and be a betrayer. It's okay to hurt people's feelings as long as you're not mistreating them, right? Just don't try, just try to protect your own discomfort. You're scared. I know it's probably none of you, but look, it's better to hurt somebody's feelings than to betray them. Difficult conversations, even in the beginning of dating relationships, are going to be part and parcel of a long-term, healthy, vibrant relationship. So don't lie, don't mistreat, but also I would never abuse sexual boundaries. Ask the other person, what are your boundaries? If I'm dating again, I'm going to ask that. What are your boundaries? Do you have boundaries? Here's my boundaries. I honor you. I cherish you. So I want to know, what do you expect here? Sex doesn't solve problems. It complicates things. And you're sexually compatible with far more people than you're relationally compatible with. So just because you have a sexual attraction to someone doesn't mean it's going to work out. So respect those boundaries and find out what those boundaries are. So that's rule number 4. Cherish them, defer to them, and don't mistreat anyone. You agree with that? Disagree with that? Rule number 5, the last rule is this: don't allow yourself to ever be disrespected. Right? Have enough self-respect to walk away from anyone or anything who consistently disrespects you. You're too good for that. And that's not arrogant. That's just agreeing with who you are as an intrinsically worthy person. Right? Respect literally means to be in awe of. So it's, hey, tell me about you. Whoever you're dating, they should be interested in you and be curious about you. And you them, hey, tell me your story. What else can you tell me? I still say that with my wife. So when you're married for a long time, it's like, well, how was your day? Well, how was your day? That's very general. So I'll say, tell me 2 things you're grateful for today, 1 thing that bummed you out. And she'll tell me, and sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it's 30 seconds. And then here's the key phrase: what else? What else? What else? You can keep saying what else. It's the magic phrase. So if you're on a date, or you want to know somebody, if you want to date them, so you're trying to get to know them, just keep asking, what else? What else? Be curious about them. That's what respect means, is to be in awe of. And listen, they will respect you more if you don't tolerate disrespect. So people approach me, hey, are you advocating getting out of a relationship if you're mistreated or disrespected? And I'm like, yeah, I am. But Aaron, I love the guy. I love the girl. And I'm like, get out of the relationship. If they're consistently disrespecting you over the long term, you need to get out of that relationship. Well, what does it mean to mistreat or disrespect someone long term? If you saw your daughter being mistreated or disrespected by somebody like you're being mistreated or disrespected, if you saw your niece or your nephew or your girlfriend or your friend that's a guy being mistreated or disrespected consistently over the long term, and you're like, they need to get out of that relationship, you also need to get out of that relationship. But you're a fish in the pond, you can't always see it. But Aaron, I don't believe in getting out of a relationship theologically, or my religion says that, or my faith says that. You need to get out of the relationship, is what I say. You think it's normal, but it's not normal. It's not normal to be mistreated or disrespected that way. Okay, so those are some of the modern day rules. One was, don't ever allow yourself to be disrespected. 2 was cherish the person at all times, meaning defer, you first, you first, you first, or don't mistreat people ever, even if they're used to being mistreated. Another one was raise your energy, and it's all energy. And another one was ladies, only agree to dates. Don't let him get out of it. 4, guys, ask her on dates. Be very specific, specific time, specific place. And 5, bring the joy. Bring so much joy, because at the end of your life, you're going to hope that you had all kinds of fun and joy. So those are modern rules. They will save you from heartbreak, and they'll show you the red flags, and they'll prevent you from disasters. And you will also find yourself experiencing a lot more fun. If you're a person who's always bringing the joy, you never mistreat people, you're always cherishing people and putting other people first, you don't disrespect people, and you don't tolerate disrespect, and you do these things, it's going to work out for you. Like I said, there's other things like confidence, kindness, but those are some big ones. So if you have any questions, put them below and I'll answer them. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great night. I'll read through some of the comments here. Yeah, bring the joy, for sure. That should be a life motto. Okay, so 15 years ago, I let this guy play me. Yeah. What does that mean? He probably just, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to do something? He wasn't asking you on specific dates. Love this mindset. Hello. All right, happy Wednesday, y'all. I hope you all find some dates. I hope you ask someone on a date. I hope you get a date. When it works out, let us know. Hey, and if it doesn't work out, also let us know so we can chime in and give you some specific coaching. Yeah, listen, if you have specific questions, this guy is ghosting me, what should I do? That falls under mistreating, disrespecting, don't tolerate it. And you either leave or you tell him, hey, sorry, I don't tolerate that. I'm a person of joy. Okay, much love, everybody. Have a good night.